Hello and welcome to One and All Present. My name is Lakshaya and I'm an intern at LEXIS and Co. I'm a third year law student at New Law College, Pune, and the topic for the day is what is a negotiable instrument and what are the types of negotiable instruments. Negotiable instruments can be defined as contracts whose benefits can be passed from its original holder to a new holder. To put in another word, negotiable instruments are documents that guarantee payment to the assignee, the person to whom it is assigned or given, or to a specific person. These are transferable signed contracts that promise to pay the bearer/holder a specific amount of money when demanded or at any later date. These instruments are transferable as previously stated. The money is given to the final possessor who can spend them as he seems fit. This is to say, once an instrument is transferred, the holder requires full legal title to the instrument. Negotiable instruments are further categorized into different categories. These hold each unique position in their respective name. They are as follows. First, promissory note. A promissory note is written as commitment by a company or an individual to pay a specific amount of money to its holder by a specific date. To put it another way, promissory notes reflect the amount that someone owes you or that you owe to someone else, as well as the interest rate and due date. For example, A buys a product of in rupees 10,000 from B. If A is unwilling to pay for the item in cash, he could issue a promissory note to B. It is A's promise to B on demand or a specific date. Another option is that A holds promissory note issued by C. He might sign this letter and give it to B free of his debt. The seller, on the other hand, is not obligated to pay except the promissory note when considering whether or not the accept of promissory note or sells considers the buyer's reputation. Bills of exchange. Bills of exchange are legal binding documents that order one party to pay another party a set of some money. Some of these bills may specify that payment is due on specific date in the future or the payment is due immediately. Bill of exchange is a document that is used in both goods and services transaction. It is signed by both party who owes money, referred to as the payer, and handed to a party who is entitled to receive money, referred to as the payee or seller. And it can be used and completed to payment contract. A seller, on the other hand, might endorse a bill of exchange and deliver it to someone else, thereby shifting payment to someone else. It should be mentioned that a bank draft is commonly used when a bill of exchange is issued by a financial institution. It is commonly referred to as trade draft if it's issued by an individual. In international trade, a bill of exchange serves primarily as a promissory note. In the transaction, the exporter or seller addresses the bill of exchange to an importer or a buyer. A third party, usually banks, is a party to a number of bills of exchange, acting as the guarantee of these payments. It aids the reduction and any risk inherent in every transaction. A check is a written instrument containing an unconditional order addressed to a banker and signed by a third person who has deposited the money with the banker. This order directs the banker to pay a particular amount of money on demand solely to the bearer of the check, the person who has the check, or to any other person who is expected to be paid according to the instructions given. Checks can be a convenient way to pay a variety of bills, despite the fact that the use of check has decreased over time and due to the rise of online banking. Checks are still used to pay tuition fees, automobile EMIs, among other things. Checks are also a wonderful way to keep track of all your paper transactions. Checks, on some other hand, are relatively slow type of payment and may take some time to process. The Negotiable Instrument Act Amendment Bill 2017 was introduced for the first time on January 2nd, 2018 in Lok Sabha. The bill proposes to change the existing act. Promissory notes, bills of exchange, and checks are all defined in the bill. The bill also establishes penalties for check dishonor and other crimes involving negotiable instruments. According to a recent circular, an individual may be required to pay INR 10,000 in addition to interest of rate 6% to 9% for checks that are dishonored. The bill also adds a clause that allows the court to award interim compensation to people whose check have been bounced due to dishonest party, individuals and entities at fault. The interim compensation for such shall not exceed 20% of the total value of the check. That was all for what are negotiable instruments and different types of negotiable instruments. Thank you and have a great day.